Okay, brilliant. Let's resume this one. Throw that out. Brilliant. Oh, okay. Quickly double checking whether YouTube is actually displaying it. So quickly we're gonna hear myself double. Okay, sounds good. Brilliant. Okay, good. So welcome everybody to a new Kerbal Space Program stream, and I really sincerely apologize for the delay. And frankly speaking, I will go out for 5 minutes in approximately a quarter of an hour. Real life is sometimes a bit more challenging than Kerbal Space Program, so yeah. Anyways, quickly, just as a small information here, Gregory, who recently joined our Discord server, which I have actually met on the official Kerbal Space Program, not Reddit server, Discord server, had a few, issues. I don't really want to say why is now this not working. Oh, come on, that's not fun. Well, in that case, return to menu. I just wanted to go into the VAB, and it was bugging around. Brilliant. So, he was trying to go to the moon, and, well, didn't manage since I'm actually not quite sure why. And so, today we're going to go to the moon, and Apollo style. So, like really, why isn't it working? Okay, we're going to try this one. We're going to jump to the rover and then try to go to the VAB from there. That's now really weird. So we're going to go. Once this is loaded, can we go to the VAB please after we're back in the Space Center? This is really weird. Anyway, so we're going to go to the moon Apollo style, and like, for real, what's the issue? I cannot click on anything. I can turn around my camera, but I cannot jump into any of the... That's so fracking weird. I'm gonna quickly shut down the entire Kerbal Space Program and restart it. That's weird. I actually started the entire started KSP up front to not have a loading screen, and so to make you guys not wait for too long, and then this is exactly what's happening. Like, brilliant. Now you're probably just saying it blank, like a black screen, right? That's now really special. Anyway, so since we have now a second to actually to talk about things, quick information actually, if you want to see another Apollo like mission, then you can actually go to the Spaceship YouTube channel page, and then on playlists there should be a stream highlights playlist. Well, there is one obviously, and if you jump there are like 6 videos. The second there is some compilation of a couple of moments from the previous time where it went to the moon in the Apollo style. The stream itself is now almost, not quite, but almost 2 years old, but it's not that bad. I mean, not the best stream ever, but certainly okay. And by the way, that's from where I've taken from that mission was actually the screenshot that I've posted to the Kerbal Space Program Discord server a bit earlier today. So yeah, that's where you can also have a look at moon landings and shenanigans. Okay. Oh, oops, no, I accidentally clicked on one of the videos, sorry about that. Probably you haven't heard that, but can you actually hear my desktop audio? That's interesting. I'm gonna leave it working. I think I could have reduced it later, but add later. Let's go for a bit further ahead. Soon. Can you hear that? That's actually interesting. I'm probably very, very quiet. Okay, so come on KSP, we're waiting for you, like everybody's waiting for you. That's not nice. But those new loading screens are really beautiful. I really like those. The changes they've made to all those loading screens and those pictures from artists and with screenshots with mods. Really beautiful. Really gives a new impression onto the game, really fresh. Now there we go, finally we can click onto the VAB. Wow, that wasn't how long, what was it, 5 minutes? Just going into the VAB, that's like literally the longest time I've taken to get into the VAB. Okay, anyway, so like I said, we're going to the Moon Apollo style, and we're going to try to recreate something along the lines that you've been trying to go with. So we're going to go with the Mark 1-3 command pod. On top of that, we're going to slap on one Clampotron docking port. Brilliant. So we can do the Apollo style. No, we're not going to go there. Wait. Apollo style means you have the lander actually sitting on top. So we're going to go this route here, but before we're going to do that, let's first smack on a heat shield. 2.5 meter heat shield. Let's go for a blader, half of that. Don't need that much ablator anyways. So why I'm reducing ablator, that's to reduce the mass of the rocket, generally speaking. So I mean, if you have a look now at the, which one is it, this one here, just under 4 tons, and if we go full ablator, just over 4 tons, so that's some mass we can save. Just a small thing. In this contraption right now, it's not really going to make any difference, but in certain missions it can make the kind of a difference that is worth to consider. You can take, well, actually let's take the making history DLC, since it's supposed to be the payload bay. There you go, service bay. They can go for shroud off. Now we can smack in a couple of interesting things in here, like a bunch of fuel tanks. That's too big. That's the same fuel tank. Brilliant. Just a tiny amount of clipping, because generally I don't like clipping. I hate clipping, frankly speaking. But let's just go along with at least this kind of clipping here. That's okay-ish in my opinion. And going with 4 is going to clip around. Go with 2. Just smack 2 of these like that. Brilliant. If we close the fairing, is it still visible? Well, in that case, let's just remove them and take a few dumplings. Like probably 2 of these as well. That's just a tiny amount of fuel, really. Brilliant. Then we can smack in, no, wrong panel here, some battery packs here on this side. Because, well, why not? You do need some batteries when you're in space. And let's slap in an RTG just because I'm too lazy to bring some solar. No, let's take some solar panels, why not? What else is interesting and important to bring along in this kind of mission? Maybe some science units here. Let's just remove this fuel tank, smack in a science junior. If you're doing science mode, that's a great idea. Then we can smack 2 science juniors in, and all the experiment. Well, we don't need this one since we're not going to land with that craft yet. The barometer as well. So we've got the 3 small experiments, the mystery good containers, and everything set up nicely. Anything else that needs to go in here? Like, yeah, of course, RCS. Important. Come on, like this. No, that's going to stick it. Well, let's just do, if we're going to move it in a bit. Brilliant. Come on, give me right click this one, shroud. That's a bit sticking out, so it's move it a tiny bit in as well. Take a bit further in. Let's then take a couple, like 4 of these. This shouldn't be clipping. Brilliant. Now we have even more. How's it called? RCS. There we go. RCS. Speaking of RCS thrusters, we're gonna smack a block of RCS thrusters here, and we have some RCS thrusters on the pod. Question is, are they good enough? I don't think so. So let's take these ones out as well. Okay, brilliant. Now smack on an engine, and this thing is ready to go as the transfer stage. We're gonna smack the Wolfhound on it. 300 units meters per second. Ah, that's weird. Vacuum. 1,000 meters per second. That's better. That should be good enough to get us home. That should be good enough, really. That should be good enough. Okay, brilliant. Now, next up is the lander. So I'm going to take docking port out just to build the lander the opposite way around in terms of building it the right way up, if you understand what I mean. So we got that kind of contraption. Actually, I'd like to have some. This is made for a small docking port, isn't it? We should really smack in a small docking port rather than the large one. Or should we? Anyway, let's just continue building this. Okay, like this. Maybe it was actually supposed to house one of these. That seems more reasonable if you go for this one. Brilliant. And now I would really like to have some sort of golden-ish skirt underneath, but these ones are just too small. We could go with 4 of these. Brilliant. Assembly here, and one of these fuel tanks first in here, so we're not clipping things. To attach not. Wait, that's not. There you go. Touch a nozzle, a spark engine. 500 meters per second. Let's go for the MUN. How is your thrust weight ratio once you are detached? So, like this. Thrust weight ratio of 2. Brilliant. That's good enough. Well, that's good. That's not a pain to land, and we have 2,000 meters per second of delta V, and yeah, so we're not going to deploy this. The engine here is first, and no crossfeed, like that. That's what I actually wanted to go with. Brilliant. And there's some landing leg contraption. If we're just going to take the landing legs, I think that's not good enough. It is good enough. Okay, the clearance is good enough. However, let's get the landing legs at an angle so that we can put some some ladders like here. And why can't you attach them to? Oh, probably because they are. This is like just a visual representation, so you cannot attach anything to that grayish thing. But with that ladder move there, we should be able to actually climb our cables up and down. Perfect. Okay, good. So with that, we have the lander completed. Oh wait, this is actually not. Oh, sorry for hitting the microphone. Apologize. This is actually not a perfect representation of the Apollo lander, since we're having a landing stage that is completely overpowered. I mean, it's a landing stage and an ascent stage at the same time. So if I were to remove this, and this is no way enough thrust. This is so not going to work the way I want it to work. If we want to smack in this little engine up here and attach a small decoupler and attach this entire big thing there, and well, clip it inside more or less, frankly speaking, so that this is covered, we'd have 900 meters per second of thrust, and this is way too much fuel. Way too much fuel in the landing station. Well, barely enough in my eyes. Well, it is enough, of course, but barely. Well, at least not big enough safety margin, if I may say so. So if we were to, well, double this, well, and then attach this contraption, and then move this tank a bit up, so that it is more or less at the same height as that thing is, and then we have this humongous contraption here. Well, I would just say, for simplicity's sake, just getting rid of the idea of building a two-staged lander, and just wait and just get rid of this thing and just be like that and be fine. since we have enough fuel, everything like that. I'd actually go like this. This makes, in my eyes at least, well, in Kerbal space, in KSP scale, this makes more sense. KSP scale. Some landing lights, then let's give you all the experiments as well, like the small ones. I'm not going to bother bringing down the big one. Wait, is that all 4 times symmetry? Nah, who cares? Could of course bring a mystery. Why not? Let's bring 2 mystery goose. They're not too big, too bad. They're fine. And that's it. So lander check. Now we just have to reroute it to the command pod. Take this. Smack it on top. Oh wait, I forgot one thing to check. Do you have RCS? 30 units, that's okay. Let's just, oh wait, wrong. Let's give you just a tiny bit more RCS. I would really like to smack them somewhere along this. Oh, how, wait. You know what, just leave it at 2 times. Double symmetry. And smack them somewhere here. You know what, no, let's 30 units of RCS should be enough. Then we need one of these antennas so that this looks a bit more like the Apollo thingy. Good, check. And you do have an integrated comms antenna, don't you? Yes, you have a 5K8. Brilliant. And then starting up with the... Let's actually check the Discord, so maybe there's going something on. Okay, brilliant. There's nothing. Well, actually not brilliant, since I was hoping that there was something going on, but no, there isn't. And the YouTube chat isn't saying anything either. So, yes. Okay, brilliant. Next up, we're going to build a fairing. Oh, wait. Aerodynamic fairing. What is it? We're building 2.5 meter pods. Let's go for 2.5 meter fairing. Wait, actually, I think I've confused something. Well, in terms of real Apollo style. Apollo, it is like the opposite way around. Like the lander is underneath the main stage, and then the main stage kind of pulls it out of the fairing, right? When the thing halves. Yes, I'm working with the DLC parts. We could of course go for Apollo. Well, actually, if we're speaking of Apollo, so let's quickly actually double check the mission that I have already done. Just out of curiosity for me, or my personal curiosity, where's the fairing deployment? Yeah, it is actually done the correct way in the other mission. Yeah. Okay, I can see that. Okay, so if you really want to have Apollo style, well, Apollo recreation, then the other video is actually more like this. Then this is just more or less has some similarities, but it's not quite the same thing. And Gregory, do you have the DLC? That's the question. Or should I do this without DLC parts? Can you please answer me? And while you're typing, I'm gonna quickly grab something to drink. See you in a second, and I'm waiting for you to type that. So here I am, I'm back, sorry. Okay, so let's see, have you written something down in the live stream? The YouTube chat is empty, that's a shame. Okay, and Discord? What do you mean with taking it would be easier to make notes? So, for a few things, well, first of all, the main question is, do you want me to do it, this approximation, since this is not Apollo style? Well, it is Apollo style in terms of you have a landing vehicle which will go up and make a rendezvous in orbit around the moon. This kind of criterion? Or would you like me to do a perfect recreation like the previous kind of thing? Speaking of previous, yeah, well, like the previous, well, the stream 2 years ago, with the entire contraption being the correct way up and pulling the lander out of the fairing halves and all that stuff, since otherwise I would just make something that's a perfect recreation. Very well understood. In that case, apart from the main capture, I'm gonna this thing is going to be scrapped in that case, and you be taking this bit off, and I'm going to have to open up my browser. Give me just a sec. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on the second screen here. That makes more sense. And time for images. The general idea, well, obviously I know the general setup, but now to make perfect creation, just want to have a look at a couple of pictures to make it a bit more visual. Oh, there we go, perfect, that's a great picture there. Okay, brilliant. Okay, let's have a look. We have the service module, okay, the command capsule, then service module, maneuvering canisters, main engine, lander underneath of it. Okay, good, lander. Biggest issue right now is actually the biggest issue in terms of the thing that looks the most different is the lander. So we're going to continue working on this lovely thing here. Going to rewrite it back, no, come on, to this, to the, oopsie, no, that was not planned, so we go up. Going to rewrite the lander first of all as the main wait, come on, make attached to the node, there you go. So we're gonna take this contraption off to the side for at least 1 second. So in this picture I've got here, wait, I should actually open up the stream as well, something like that, to see stream messages and the picture, otherwise there's no point in having the stream opened up here, right? Wouldn't it? Ah, come on. There we go. Brilliant. Okay, good. So, no, oh, oops, no, that was bad. Control Z. No, I've messed it up. Sorry about that. Come on, give back. There we go. Okay, good. So it is looks like one of these things, like my previous mission actually, the Tianwen-1 thingy, because you need underneath of that we need some structural panels, and the question is what size is good. Yeah, okay, good. We need this kind of structural paneling. I'm going to use, no, let's just take a fresh fuel tank. Just for the fuel tank, this is good, because everything else now is going to be this kind of contraption in gold, with gold foil, Now that it's moved up a bit, I'm gonna use another a couple, like another 6 of these, just the smaller ones. 2, that's me too, that's small. No, smaller is not a good idea. No, wait, whoa, too big. Triangles, now going to there we go, brilliant. Okay, this is a bit big. This skirt is a bit too big. I would like to have it like half the size. In that case, we don't need the 1 meter parts. We need these ones here, but these ones are very small. They're just barely. They're not even big enough to can keep all the things inside. Well, to encase the entire contraption. Well, come on. No, this, no. No, wait, this was not too. Come on, you just have to be attached to this side here. Okay, let's go for. Let's make it there. Standing out, great. No, where's this one? And then you can just attach you here. Let's have a look. Will this work? Okay, this will at least. Okay, this is at least somewhat okay-ish. Not too big. Now just taking back the triangles. Now I can smack the triangles on again. To make it, going to make it a bit higher up. Where was it? There you go. And now I can just move all of this up until we encase the entire thing. How I'm gonna rotate these just a slight bit. So I think we need a 2-directional rotation to make this. No, it's not going to make more sense, is it? Look better. Let's try not to obstruct the hatch like this, and a bit little. Thing like that. Good, this seems reasonable, I guess. Well, a bit too much, maybe. Okay, like this. This should be close and well, yeah, that's good. Now we need some landing legs on the side. Wait, need to move these corners out. Otherwise, we're going to clip the corner. Okay, good. Now that looks better. Now we need some landing legs. Now the question is, which ones? Probably these ones. We have 4 landing legs since we have too big symmetry. Now these ones are way too big. So one here. One here. One here. And one here. That makes sense, doesn't it? Good. Where's the big one? Here we go. And delete. Okay. Oh, and I again forgot to think about the ascent stage. Yes. We need an engine. Yes, that's good. So 900 meters per second we could do with that, but I would like to have some additional margin. Wait, what? Oh, I'm not quite sure. Didn't you could actually make the arrows into circles appear and make functions? Okay. This is with either hotkey 2 and 3. Well, it's these tools here. Like the hotkey number 2 is for the move tool, so you can click on something, and then you have these things and you can move it. Well, this is now the root part, makes little sense, but let's go for the docking port here. You can move it like that, and if you press shift you can make it go ridiculous amounts left and right. and that's it in the middle. And if you press 3 or click on this icon here, you can rotate things, and same goes, you can just turn it around how much you like. And rerouting is setting a new part as the root part, like the fourth icon here. And if you want to go back to the regular editor, press either 1 or click on the tool place. Let's have a look. Probably gonna add a couple of these dumplings. Just ask. Whoa! That's weird. Okay, maybe not. Let's just take a fuel Oscar B fuel tank, put it in there so that it really fits there, and this way we should have enough fuel for my taste. Yeah, that's brilliant. That's enough fuel. Now we need something to detach this entire contraption, but the question is, we go either with something that's just ridiculous like this, that's one option, yes, or we can go with a small decoupler and then just make it offset the entire thing inside, and that's cheating in my opinion. If you were to just make a click and be like, oh yeah, we've got an entire stage inside the fuel tank there. So yeah, that's not something I really like to do. I don't like to do it at all. I mean, I can move the fuel tank a bit higher up. Or we could go the other way. Oh no, I have another idea. We could first attach the engine and then attach the engine like to the bottom of the spacecraft for real, and then we can just this is, yeah, there we go, something like this. This is not going overboard, and now we can go for the coupler and no, 1 times symmetry, just this. Okay, attaching this one is a pain. Will you? Come on, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. Okay, I guess no. In that case, we're getting rid of these ones first, smacking you there, and now trying to attach you with zooming in all the way. Cannot even zoom that much in. Okay, now we got at least them attached to this contraption thingy. Now approximating its center here and down, and this maybe a bit out, too much out, like that probably. Okay, good. Now you can get another engine, and then we're ready to too many attachment nodes there. Okay, perfect. Now we've got an engine. You've got only 800 meters per second fuel. Well, this is no issue to change. We just go back to our 4 baguettes there. Perfect. And off it, setting them just a tiny bit inside so that this golden feeling is not interrupted. This golden-ish look. There's not too much clearance, but good enough between it and the landing gear. Starting all of the landing gear retracted. And next up, let's have a look at the image here. This is all this is all stacked here on top of this thing. And frankly speaking, we don't need the shroud here, since it's attached by the wire docking port. Next up, in that case, is the we're 2 meter apart, a 3 meter fairing, since it's going to get smaller. 3 meter fairing, but first we need obviously the decoupler here. Totally forgot about that. And there is actually a like in the real Apollo, there was a computer unit there. There we go, decoupler. So instead of a computer unit, we're just going to use an SAS, since, well, why not? And having some additional SAS never hurts. So let's take 2 of them. Makes the thing less painful to maneuver. smack on some batteries because why not? And then we can just go and do like, okay, then we can go and do it like this. There we go, brilliant. Now things have to be rerouted, otherwise the complete thing makes no sense. So first, that's good, that's good. Okay, well then everything else makes no sense. Can figure that out afterwards, a bit later. We don't have anything else. We have this, we've got the antenna check, capsule check. The escape tower is the last thing that's missing here, so escape tower check. Okay, on to the third stage actually. Third stage is a, let's scroll down, the image is long. Next stage. Okay, this is just a, I would actually go, wait, that's too big, that's too wide. Just from the looks of it, I would go with this kind of stage, but I know this is way too much fuel, well, too heavy. Actually, not too much fuel, but just too heavy to actually lift off. So going to shorten it a bit with this stage here. So just 3/4. Then we can smack in one big bad engine, and one big bad engine, the question is you. And now give me please Kerbin at 40-ish kilometers. So first up you ignite, you have 3000 meters per second and a thrust weight ratio of way too little. Okay, good. A thrust weight ratio of way too little. Then let's go with the skipper. Thrust weight ratio of barely acceptable. Barely acceptable is not good enough. I need a good thrust weight ratio, so we need more than 700 kilonewtons of thrust. And the only real thing that comes to my mind in this case is either the Kurbine KE1, aka the F1 replica, which is actually way too, well, doesn't have enough power. But well, in terms of full as its main engine, but we can use it up here, like one single of these. I didn't want to. I don't like it. I really don't like this engine. Preferably, I would go with the skipper, since this is like literally. If you've seen my what engine to use when video, this is like the perfect opportunity for this. Why am I just talking tier 2 engines? I can use this big bad boy. This is like literally a perfect engine for this. Sadly, it has no reduced version with smaller struts and so, like this kind of thing here. This would be perfect. From the looks of it, this would be perfect. Or this one actually. But from the, it's a bit too powerful, but that's fine. Like I said earlier today, rather having too much fuel than too little fuel. Okay, next up the bigger stage, which where is it? There we go. Is actually increased in size and has 5 engines. 5 engines and, well, this kind of size, but like I said, we're not going to go with that. We're going with half of it. Half of the size should be good enough, and then we need actually an engine plate. So small tip here, engine plates are nice since you can select how many engines you want to have here, and you need 5. And to make this thing look like it, we're gonna use 5 of these. Question is, will we have enough thrust? No, we don't. Come on, that's not fair. This will be lower in the atmosphere actually, so that's not fair here. The parts that were given us by the DLC are underpowered for their purpose. However, if we go with skippers, in this case, bear skippers, we have brilliant. I'm just gonna go with the skipper in this one as well as completely bare to keep the appearance linear. And obviously we'll need to separate the stage first before that. So next up we have the big badass first stage, which is huge, and we're gonna shorten it up. Well, that's too oh, that's the right size. Brilliant. Oops, there we go. And up, and then we need the engine cluster adapter tank thingy. I know it's a bit short, but okay, now it's good enough. So, and down here we have Silal, the big and bad main stage, and I'm gonna go with the mainsail in the small version because, well, 5 of the KE1 Turbodyne engines are just not enough. Probably this is still not enough. No, it's barely enough. Well, 1.3, that's fine. Great, now we shouldn't forget the small tiny fins that the Saturn V has, or had, since there are no Saturn V's anymore. Well, at least none of them can be launched. That's what I mean. That makes really no sense. Let's give me this thing, give me this one. There we go, that makes more sense. I'd like to actually smack the fins a bit further in, but it's from the proportions actually more or less realistic. So yeah, that seems good. Last but not least, launch clamps. Where have we got the launch clamps? Here they are. So we sadly don't have a nice tower in KSP. However, in KSP2 there are supposed to be some towers. Next up, the magic of KSP, auto strutting everything that is wobbling around. Probably not enough auto struts. Where is it? Toggle tool, configure vessel. Okay, well in that case, you be auto strutted. And there you go, auto struts. And auto struts are good and fine, but the best friend of every KSP player are struts. So I'm going to strut everything manually as well. So first strut. Gonna strut the lander down, and then this engine type of configuration thingy, and then I'm gonna have I just take 2 of these struts up this way. Brilliant. So you are let's call it the like this, and action groups. One tiny thing, because, well, why not? The abort action group here. Going to select this one actually. Toggle engines. And jettison heat shield. And that's pretty much it. I think that's good enough. Just going to go through the staging. Always check your staging kits. Engines. Detach. Next engines. Detach. Next engine. Check. Fairing, check. Well, we won't be able to pull the thing out, I think. Just going to deploy the fairing since we will see that actually. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out during flight, and now let's hope that nothing's wobbling and launch it. We need an engineer, a pilot, and a scientist. Please, all staying here. So brilliant, and now you can launch. Okay, now I haven't actually paid attention to the Delta V stats. I just went purely for looks. Let's check the Delta V stats whether we actually have enough, but I think we have. Since I've tried to keep it a bit smaller than the parts would actually suggest building it. It's still massive, isn't it? This is for... That should get us into orbit, that should get... And this is not working, brilliant. Okay, just one small, launch. I'm gonna try this. Oh, I know what I forgot, parachute! Since we don't have parachutes, that makes sense. I just wanted to check whether the launch escape tower works, but the launch escape tower works perfectly. However, I forgot to bring parachutes. So that's important thing. If I remember, we need 3 parachutes to make it Apollo style. Well, to represent the Apollo capsule. Returning, brilliant. Launcher board works, everything else can be figured out during flight, and now we can start the real mission, the real deal. I hope you are still watching, Gregory. And somehow the chat, like the YouTube chat, is complete. Now I started up the wrong program, sorry. Misclicks. The YouTube chat is completely empty. Nothing going on in the YouTube chat. Really, what a shame. That's such a shame. I'd love to more things were to go on, but now just gonna quickly start actually a recording as well. So we might actually do another, or I might do another one of these nice and beautiful stream highlights. And with that, we have 3, 2, 1, lift off. Nice. Kind of like those cinematic views. Sadly, the camera tool mod's not working, or at least I haven't. Well, the regular download of the mod itself is not working somehow. That's a shame, but details. Oh, brilliant, Diego. Oh, and Doshi as well. Welcome. Well, welcome back actually. And brilliant. Oh, I'm really happy that you guys joined as well. And that's that's the wrong thing. I'm actually gonna check one second. I apologize for the streaming. Just interested here. Something didn't show actually. It didn't show earlier. There were actually people watching. It just showed like 2, and I assumed it was just my secondary screen and Gregory. But the more the merrier. That's nice. Actually, there's one interesting thing that I have not thought about, at least I haven't researched rather, whether the interstage between the first and the second stage, the second and the third stage, has some Sepatrons. I mean, that would actually make... Oh, speaking of Sepatrons, in the first episode of Sister Planet, in the very first launch, separating the boosters, well, the main stage, not the boosters, the main stage, lifter stage, from the upper stages, with those fairing deployed, and then the Sepatron boosters firing back, is such a nice shot there. Oh, no, not flipping, thank you. It's such a nice shot. I was really happy how that came out. So speaking of Sister Planets, if you like nice, well, more or less cinematic videos, go and check out Sister Planets. That's a nice series where we go to Eve, and there are actually 2 more episodes about to come out soon. Why am always when we jump from the map view back, we started have to zoom in? That's so weird. Like in, and now we have to zoom in. That's weird. But now I actually want to have a look at our apoapsis. Let's go for something like 80-ish before cutting. Small circularization burn there. 70. And 80, brilliant. Good. Now we can actually deploy. Drop the escape tower. It's weird listening to your name in the live stream. Isn't that like the best thing ever? I mean, I can remember like this one single time where I got mentioned in another bigger YouTuber's live stream. I was really happy about that, so I don't really think that's weird. But on the other hand, I'm by no means anything big. I mean, just look at that, a small tiny channel that's trying to grow, but nobody's going to really watch a lot of videos here. So brilliant. Now going to circular ray. Let's wait a bit until, so we have a nice beautiful circular, perfectly circular orbit. Well, 300 meters per second here. Actually, speaking of 300 meters per second, I'm gonna ditch this stage before we actually circularize, so that they can be dumped into the ocean or some other continent. So there we go. Ditch this stage, ignite this engine. Now you can go for orbit. Good. Next up, moon set as target. Let's see, moon is there, so approximately here we'll be able to see the moon. So a small tip for you, Gregory: if you're playing career mode and you don't have patched conics in the tracking station, aka the first upgrade from your... No, actually it's mission control, sorry, mission control and... No, mission control, no, wrong. Mission control gives you maneuver nodes, so you don't have maneuver nodes. There you go. You don't have maneuver nodes and you don't have patched conics from the tracking station. So these two are the first upgrades you should do in career mode to your space center, so that you can do maneuver nodes and see when your orbit intersects something. So the tip there is to be in the regular mode here, like this, and then wait until you can see the moon rise here. And then you can just burn prograde until your orbit intersects the one of the moon, and then you get an encounter. So if you see, I'm more or less approximating this one just with the maneuver node. If you go into this plane and move the camera, when will you see the moon? Ah, there you can see the moon, and that's pretty much on this point, more or less, like that's just eyeballing it right now. So, and then just doing here maneuver node, and that would more or less be the same. So like this, we're not quite there yet, so just a bit more, and there we have our intersect. And if we were to go right until the edge, kind of crossing over the line of the moon, we get a pretty decent encounter. I mean, 200 meters, 200 kilometers. I mean, look at that, that's pretty. But now, since we do have maneuver nodes, I'm going to get it even closer. Go for 50. That's pretty much perfect, and a perfect, almost perfect equatorial orbit. So that's exactly what we're going to do. 800 meters per second to check. Now fast forwarding to, well, first select the maneuver node, then burn in 7 minutes. Gonna stay here. Let's have a look. When will the moon rise? They're just hoping that the moon will rise, and there you go. So we are just at the maneuver node. You can see T minus, well, actually 10 seconds too late, and the moon is just rising up above the horizon. So that's really the perfect and most easy, or the easiest way to get the moon encounter if you don't have maneuver nodes. And even if you have maneuver nodes, this is still the way I tend to do things. This is really easy, really simple, without a lot of planning. And a quick fast forwarding, 4 times regular speed, and now reducing it a bit so that we don't overshoot. Zoom in, 40 meters, 40 kilometers. Brilliant, perfect. Now it's F5 times, since we have a nice encounter, nice intersect line, and I'm glad that you like Sister Planets. These episodes, or these missions, really are a lot of work, and I really liked doing them. And actually, I have an idea to make things a bit more realistic. I have to think about one thing. Wait, no, we have a quick save, so we can just continue doing this. Intersect, and now we will detach this one just to make things easier on docking here. Then decouple this, use RCS, good, then select this as targets, deselect RCS, well, can also use RCS as well. grab this one. Let's have a look at our RCS supply. Don't have a ton of it. Okay, good. No, just this should be good enough. I think it's not the best approach I've done. Slightly down. There you go. Brilliant, attached, good. Now we can, let's have a look here. Where's the decoupler that we actually want to have? This is not you, not, don't say it actually. I presume it's this one. No, that's the one inside it, so then it's this one. No, it's this one. Yes. Brilliant, we have detached you. Now we can fire up activate engine. What do you mean you don't have any fuel? What kind of joke is that? You have... There, you have a lot of fuel here. What do you mean you cannot... Oxidizer deprived? I can see here a bunch of fuel. Okay, well, that's certainly weird. In that case, we need some fuel lines. I should have checked the engine actually before doing that. I thought it was just because of the staging we don't get any readings, but it seems like this is not working according to plan. Now, fuel line, you check. Wow, is that you? No, that's the wrong one. Brilliant, brilliant. Are we? Okay, wait. Are we using? Give me. I want to see the fuel levels. 1,200 meters per second and slowing down from from Kerbin. This is around 300. We're down to 900 meters per second with this thing attached. Is more than 9. How much have you got? Then you've got like still 1200-ish. I need to build the entire fairing again. Well, edit fairing, and this will be really close in terms of fuel. Let's give you just for safety margin. No, I don't want to smack in another one of these fuel tanks. I dislike them. Why not? Come on, let's give you just these two. That's good enough for me. Okay, back to it launching. I can go fast forward through the entire contraption thingy first. But I didn't actually expect that the engine would not work. We need to get that bloody fuel line there. That's so weird. That wasn't there 2 years ago. I'm sure of it. Attaching the engine to the service bay, and then the fuel from the service bay will actually go into the engine. That's how things were. And there you go. Or used to be 2 years ago. What do you mean with learning to use the RCS rockets? You mean the RCS thrusters? Well, placing them is a rather simple task. Use 4x symmetry and put them in a line. I prefer to click on this C icon so that you can see in the bottom left corner in the VAB these, what is that, like a hexagonal thingy. Then, well, you can either have a circle or a hexagonal thingy. Have the hexagonal thingy, then you can just put them. I used to do them, at 4x symmetry, 90 degrees. So you have one here and one here, and then you have like one here, one on this side, and one on the far side here, and then do the same thing at the very bottom. So spread them out as far as you can see, just as far as you can spread them apart through the length of your rocket, and that's pretty much the way to go. I was just sleeping. Very bad gravity turn here. It's 12k, 13k, and we are just pitching over. So if you want to see, well, if you're referring to a good launch the first one. The first one was better, a lot better. We have enough fuel, but still, first launch was better. But actually, lucky that we realized that issue before going to the moon. Let's just imagine and try to go for realism. Just imagine being at the moon, landed already, and well, the main stage is not working. The fuel is not going to the engine. Bad plumbing there. That would be really annoying. So this way we just lost like, what was it, 7 minutes? Not even. 5-ish minutes probably. But, well, probably a bit more than 5 minutes. So, you had a space station inside a cargo bay. Brilliant. Really? To take a space station out of the cargo bay took you that long? Well, then, yes. Weird. Let's go for 2 times, just to make things a bit more manageable in terms of time consumption. That's why we're in the map view. Seen the launch earlier, so don't need to sit through that again. Give me prograde, please. Thank you. You can still go to prograde. Actually, same thing. I'm gonna ditch this stage here. Don't need it. Don't need a crew tower. The couple. Bonk. And slowing down and going with 10 times regular speed, 1 minute. And going for the burn as well here. Brilliant. Now same procedure again, set as target. Look at the approximately here. And drag it out to the moon. Yep. That's good. Target marker, fast forwarding. Doing the burn, come on. Turn around, big boy. Turn around, big boy. Okay, this time we're a bit later with the maneuver, as you can see here. Yeah, it's fine. Let's just start doing it right now. He moved to the left, right, turned okay, but up and down kind of failed. Maybe you just placed 2 sets of RCS thrusters instead of 4. Probably because you were in a cargo bay, means that you were probably in the spaceplane hangar, and there you have as default the mirror symmetry, aka just 2 times. So this could be maybe an issue, right? Okay, let's have a look here. Just bits up. No, whoop, wrong button there. Have it slow down. Let's double click it. 100 kilometers, 30, and crash course, quick save, and I dare you, if you're not working now, I'm gonna. Oh wait. Don't worry, I'm still here. It's fine. You play sandbox, okay? I think you have a play. Yes. Well, running out of fuel. Well, actually, in this thing here, it's the opposite way. We have 1,700 meters more than we need. Well, if this wasn't a recreation, I would just take this stage and be like, yeah, let's go to the moon and slow down with this stage. But since we're going for a recreation this time, now I dare you. You have fuel, brilliant. Okay, good, you have fuel, this is working. But since, like I said, this is a recreation, we're going to ditch this stage like it is actually supposed to be crashed. Well, supposed to be. Was, stop it. Wrong button, gosh. I need this one. Okay, now you can see that I messed this one up as well. Okay, we want to go, let's figure out the controls. To the left and back. So first let's go back, 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 and then to the left. Well, very well. Let's just and we need to go up a bit. And can we disable your RCS thrusters and steer out of sync? RCS disabled, brilliant. Now we can, what is it? Stop going up and stop going left. And yours are not, and these thrusters are not working either, brilliant. Like, what kind of joke is that? No wonder this thing is sluggish. Okay, well, a new tip. I usually say, let's use this service module, but right now actually don't use the bloody service module if you're building this kind of contraption here. This is not a good idea. Since you don't have any sort of connection with the fuel that you place inside the service module to the aft section here. I mean, I smacked an additional fuel line just to get fuel to the bloody engine, and the RCS thrusters are not working. So yeah, don't do that. Is that the correct one? Is that the one here? Just double checking. Seems like it. Okay, decouple. Then point prograde. And we will now lift our intersect again to above the surface. I mean retrograde, I apologize, I was thinking the opposite way around. But running out of fuel earlier, that's actually the easiest way to solve that, is just to bring more fuel in the first place. And that's why I actually said to you in the other server, rather have too much fuel than too little fuel. And now we're flying to the moon. Whee! Brilliant. Time warp completed. And while we're at it, why not extend the antenna? You gotta be bloody kidding me. You gotta be bloody kidding me. Really? This is like open doors maybe right now. I have no clue what. Now extend antenna. Okay, I'm just gonna give it. The antenna is not. This service module is so much worse than I have it in, than I remember it. I mean, doors are open, we can see things, we cannot extend the antenna. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's just a tiny annoyance there. But the more important thing is that we are now here pretty much at our closest approach, it's 13 kilometers, igniting our engines, it's one engine, slowing down to a nice circular, pretty equatorial orbit. Let's just wait until we are back at periapsis there, brilliant. And luckily we have already some infrastructure around, so we don't need actually an antenna. And perfect, circular orbit. Next up, we can light up the engine. Light up the light. Ha 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 ha. Then pick who's pilot. Mr. Pilot. Gemdrin. Okay, so you can go into this module, and we take. Let's take Harley. You two, and let's go. Oh, nice, Krillin. Quick save. Warp to the to the daylight side of the moon. Let's go back to the YouTube screen so I can see comments. Brilliant. Now let's have a look. Well, actually we can point retrograde, that's fine by me. And how is your RCS supply looking? Your RCS supply is good, everything else is good. Okay, well, go for another F5. In order to not screw up the landing, since I know myself and we totally will do that. Then we'll go undock. Switch to this craft. We have pilot control, brilliant. We can ignite this engine. and just wait until we drifted away a bit. You point to red trigger. Since we don't have an RCA reaction wheel, we have to do that manually. Boink. Well, we have enough fuel, so. And luckily this engine has some gimbal. The RCS is something I actually want to keep for the landing itself, since we don't have a reaction wheel, so not tipping over and having a good landing is something we will do with the RCS, and 30 units of RCS is not quite, let's call it, not the biggest amount. Let's land in this crater here. This is a big nice crater, probably not going to miss it. And well, this is kind of the downside of this kind of, well, of the lunar excursion module. Give me quickly 2, so we should not be too late in terms of burning. Let's point the right way. How I switch the 2 buttons right to the left from the enter key, since I have no clue what kind of things they are in your keyboard, on your keyboard, but for me it's exclamation mark and the special version of the E, like the, no, of the U, sorry, a U with 2 dots on top of it, since I have a Swiss keyboard. Okay, good. Let's see, pro landing legs, lights are on, electricity is not an issue. Well, yeah, then let's just go down. And we're going to reload because we're going to crash. We don't. No, we're not going to crash. This should work out actually. This should. No, we're going to totally crash. We don't have enough. We started too late. Yeah, that's going to be reload. Okay, good. Going to do one small change here. What's up with that antenna? Now it's like halfway deployed after reload. Okay. Are you still? Yes, you are out already. Brilliant. Okay, undock. And like I said, it's the key right next to the yeah, enter key. There you go. Boink. No, don't use my precious RCS on doing that. And of course crash the ship. That's good, that's good, that's all good, that's all according to plan. Let's have a look. Are we going for the crater? Yes, crater check. Now I'm going to time warp again to the crater. And this time I'm going to start burning a bit earlier. Well, right now. And from now on, pretty much all the time. Should be enough. Time, 15k. If you don't know, you can actually look this up in the settings menu, in the main menu, in the settings. There should be a list with all key bindings. So there you go, now coming down. There are a lot of craters inside the crater. If you look at this, there are a lot of craters inside. Okay, so now we are pretty much at a dead stop. Want to keep the engine running just to have gimbal capabilities and to not flip out. Not really efficient landing here, but we have more than enough fuel for anything. So totally over-engineered it. But like I said, let's have more fuel than enough. And it's better than having not enough fuel. It's a slightly sloped region, that's not good. Because now I'm going to be like hovering and radially out. Good, so that we keep it this way, this orientation. Give me this infographics. Nice and slow touchdown. Brilliant. We have a perfect touchdown. F5. There's auto-saving and quick-saving. So let's take out our 2 Kerbals. And I know what I forgot. Just realized it. The nice ladder contraption that we built at the very beginning with the first lander. Anyway, it's not too bad. So, first planting a flag. The most important thing of every Kerbal mission. Since, I mean, if you don't have a flag on this body, you've never been there, right? How should we call this site? Yeah, I know it. Like this. Just going to check the spelling. Seems good. Then let's get our second Kerbal out as well for a nice picture. Yay! Kerbals love space, right? Do we have something in the background somewhere? Something interesting background? Well, no Kerbin. Well, that's... Nope, no Kerbin. Shame. But this... Oh, nice movements there, right? Standing right next to the flag. Oh, there we go. This. Enjoying the nice... To the side I was covering the complete flag. Wait, what happened now? Why am I back on my desktop? Oh. Okay, well, just a reminder, sorry. Nice. Screenshot here, probably the thumbnail for the, how's it called? Highlights video. Do another one like this. And brilliant. Whee! The moon is probably the most visited body in all of KSP, since as a beginner you go to Minmus in the career mode, and then you start going to other bodies, but most people, well, almost that, really like to go to the moon, and that regularly. Even I do that. I mean, with all my SSTOs that are considered to go further than just the moon, well, just outside of the Kerbin system, I go to the moon as a test flight and check whether it is working and everything like that. So the moon is like the most visited place, even from, or at least for me, it is. Testing things on the moon if they're for further than the moon, and just like this, a small nice mission. Makes sense, right? Okay, so this is, guess, close enough, I presume. Let's go give it a bit more. Probably going to be in a lower orbit anyway, so going to catch up with him. Okay, perfect. Now we are going to quick save again. Then we're going to fire up this. Give me that. Select radial layout. And, oh wait, go with this one here. So let's rather disengage this one, so I can throttle up and do like 3, 2, 1, and yep, totally worked out. Totally worked out. Okay, so that's the downside of clipping. Let's now have a look. Where do we have to go? We have to go this way. Is that correct? Go to the map view. Apart from the inclination, yes. The inclination has been corrected. Can go back. Now it's a bit over then actually. Or is it? No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Just point a bit up again. Gain some more altitude. So I think it was about because of these 4 dumplings that I've smacked in there, just as an addition. For safety measures, since we have more than enough, even without we had enough, but I just like the way too much. Go back north. Come on. Correct you over to the north. Thank you. Let's go for a 30-kilometer mile. No, can we get direct intersect? Probably not. I think we won't be able to. No, we won't. Okay, well, anyways, let's go to warp here, to the apoapsis. 5 minutes. And give me this one, please. And going to an orbit. Have we got, what's the intersect here? 30 kilometer. Give me 37 kilometers. 35 kilometers. That's a humongous difference here. Okay, you know what, let's just make it without these intersectors, just be with straight with just regular old orbital mechanics. We are behind the target, so we want to be in the lower orbit. So simple. Come on. There we go. How much LCS have I got? If you split more than 5 units, 7 units. Um, 37, that's too low. Well, that's almost a bit too much down. Like 6 kilometers periapsis is a bit too little, so give me slightly higher periapsis. Let's go for 15. Really annoying without useful, how's it called? A SAS unit. So now there, okay, now we are in front of it. Brilliant. Now yeah, I overdid it. Then let's go in a bit higher orbit. Just a bit higher. Oh, brilliant! There we have a nice 6 kilometer intersect. Brilliant. That's exactly what I have been waiting for. So I should follow the service module. Yes, exactly. So generally speaking, if you're behind the target you're trying to catch up, well, rendezvous with, you have to be in a lower orbit because there you're moving faster, and if you are in a if you're in front of the target, then you have to be in a higher orbit to slow down. And then once you're close enough for visual intersects, visually working, then you just wrong button, and then you just do you burn towards the target. First you do actually slow down relative to the target, or you should slow down, but I forgot to change the target mode. Let's see. Getting still closer, a bit closer. Yes, I'm going to go to burn now. Relative to the target, retrograde. Reducing the velocity to 0, almost 0. And then you burn just towards the target. Then you time warp forward until you are pretty close. I mean, like this close. And then you just do the regular docking. So we have to be on this side, so I'm just going to. Brilliant. Now you're going to slow down again. Then select again the target as my target, and then just burn up until so something like this. Because I'm lazy, I'm going to select this as well as my target. Point towards it as well to make things easier. Brilliant. Now I'm going to deselect the target so that its SAS is not going to correct anything, so this way it can just be easy I can just easily dock it with this one, just with the translating. So first I'm going to slow down actually a bit, since 2 meters is a bit fast. So 1 meter. Let's have a look at things. We are underneath, so slow down. We want to go slightly to the left and a slight bit up. We are at the same height. Good. Now just going to be a bit more to the left. And that's good enough. Stop. And now, when I think it's more or less okay, just a bit forwards. And that's all you need. And since we don't have an SAS, well, don't have to do anything else. Otherwise, I would actually suggest turning off SAS. Well, if you don't have, if you have a reactor, sorry. And there we go. There we have nice successful docking. After that, where is the crew hatch? Transfer our crew into this one. Orbit. Go for retrograde. Whilst we're at it, actually, give me this one, because we can transfer the fuel, because, well, why not? We have enough fuel. No. This should be actually shut down. And is it down? Yes, perfect. The coupling. Turning around. And going back into orbit. Well, camera wobbling around. And that thing from the exhaust goes spinning wild. Brilliant. Now, next step to going home is... Next orbit, we're going to be approximately here, and then we're going to do this maneuver. That's actually total overkill. .12 kilometers per reab, so let's go for 20. That's 30. That's too well, you can figure it out more or less. Something like that, and then you go warp to next maneuver. And then we can head home. Oh, and hello and welcome to the Stream Matrix. Sorry that I haven't paid attention to the actual stream footage. I was just looking at the Discord server. Sorry about that. Yeah, like I said, welcome to the stream. And we get contact to the moon, obviously, in the beginning, of course, yeah. No, we don't have any spec. Well, I think we have something, but we have ditched the lander module down to the... back to the surface, so we don't have at least the landing capsule, since I deorbited it before the docking. And 11, well, that's a bit too much, but details. Now we can just time forward. We have still half of our fuel left. And where's Kerbin? There's Kerbin. Now going to fall down to Kerbin. Wait, before we do that, actually, well, it's too late. Let's just be... And double checking staging, brilliant. And time for re-entry. I only stream on YouTube. I don't have... I think I have made actually Twitch account like 1.5 years ago, because someone told me I should rather stream on Twitch than on YouTube, but I wasn't really too happy about how the first interface and so was on Twitch, so I decided, yeah, let's just stick with YouTube, since I totally know how to stream on YouTube. Everything's fine there. And now, not going to be a splashdown, but rather a... Oh, sorry, didn't mean to press map mode. Just a regular landing on the land, but that's good enough. 3 parachutes. Just after sunset. Now gliding down to the surface. And with that we have a totally successful mission. I mean, perfect. Apart from the small flipping around just after takeoff from the moon, but that's just a small tiny detail, so don't pay attention to that, okay? Well, we have a heat shield. You can see here. Heat shield. Wrong button. And we have still 300, almost 300 units of ablator after that. re-entry. So we have used like 106 units of ablator. There we go, perfect. Touchdown, mission concluded. Bah! Wow, this was now very good. Now, question to you, Gregory. Did this help you out? Because that's the most important thing, actually. And the other thing is going to check out how long is actually the stream going on, because I should stop. Well, should stop. I mean, yeah, it's time to stop. In terms of I have now nice historic trip, brilliant. And I don't know why, but why is this thing closed? Okay, that's weird. I know it is weird, but let's go to the VAB at least. We can click it. Very well. I'm happy you could take something away from this. And I'm just going to go into the VAB so that we have a nice screen before ending, since just a black screen is totally weird, isn't it? And yeah, nice historic creation. Thank you, thank you. And by the way, if you want to see something, where is it? Here we go. Close to this, like this mission, with a few things that work a bit better in terms of that. I mean, the landing is not weird. The takeoff is not weird, and the other thing, the reword is not happening, where we figured out that the plumbing didn't work out. And some more visual mods. There is actually a KSP stream, Apollo style to the moon, stream highlights on my YouTube channel. So that's kind of the other version, or the older version 2 years ago, where I did that as well. So you can check that out as well. And most probably tomorrow or in 2 days there'll be small stream highlights of today as well in video format. So if you're interested in that and generally want to see more interesting space content, then you might sort of want to subscribe to this channel. So small plug in here, self advertisement. So yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. You'd probably like discovering the moon again. Yeah, I mean, I can't wait for KSP2 as well. I'm looking forward to it. It's a bit of a shame that it wasn't able to get out in, well, this year, but definitely looking forward to that, and definitely going to do content on that once it gets out as well. So, but yeah, that might actually be still some time. And yeah, so thanks very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the stream as much as I did. And on this note, until next time, Spaceship signing out. And enjoy the rest of your evening or day, depending on your time zone, of course. So,